United States Circuit Court for the Northern District of New York at Canandaigua. Is the jury ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
We are here today for the trial of the United States of America against Susan B. Counsel, would you state your appearances?
For the United States, Richard Crowley, U.S. Attorney. Good morning, Your Honor.
For the defendant, Susan B. Anthony, the Honorable Henry R. Selby, and Jonathan Boris.
The defendant is indicted under the Act of Congress, 1870, for having voted for representatives of Congress in November of 1872. Has the prisoner anything to say why sentence shall not be pronounced?
Yes, Your Honor. I have many things to say. For in your ordered verdict of guilty, you have trampled underfoot every vital principle of our government. My natural rights, my civil rights, my political rights, my judicial rights are all alike ignored. Robbed of the fundamental privilege of citizenship, I am degraded from the status of a citizen to that of a subject. And not only myself individually, but all of my sex are, by your Honor's verdict, doomed to political subjugation under this so-called form of government.
The court cannot listen to the reversal of arguments which the prisoner's counsel has already consumed 3 hours in presentation.
May it please, Your Honor, I am not arguing the question, but simply stating the reasons why sentence cannot, in justice, be pronounced against me. Your denial of my citizens' right to vote is the denial of my right of consent as one of the governed, the denial of my right of representation as one of the taxed, the denial of my right to a trial by a jury of my peers as an offender against law, therefore the denial of my sacred rights to life, liberty, property.
The court cannot allow the prisoner to go on.
But Your Honor will not deny me this one and only poor privilege of protest against this high-handed outrage upon my citizens' rights. May it please the court to remember that since the day of my arrest last November, this is the first time that either myself or any person of my disenfranchised class has been allowed a word of defense before judge or jury.
The prisoner must sit down. The court cannot allow it.
All of my prosecutors, from the 8th Ward corner grocery politician who entered the complaint to the United States Marshal, Commissioner, District Attorney, District Judge, Your Honor, on the bench, not one is my peer, but each and all are my political sovereigns, and had Your Honor submitted my case to the jury, as was clearly your duty, even then I should have had just cause of protest, for not one of those men was my peer, but native or foreign born, white or black, rich or poor, educated or ignorant, awake or asleep, sober or drunk, each and every man of them was my political superior, hence, in no sense, my peer. Even under such circumstances, a commissioner of England, tried before a jury of lords, would have far less cause to complain than should I, a woman, tried before a jury of men. Even my counsel, the Honorable Henry R. Selby, who has argued my cause so ably, so earnestly, so unanswerably before Your Honor, is my political sovereign. Precisely as no disenfranchised person is entitled to sit upon a jury, and no woman is entitled to the franchise, so none but a regularly admitted lawyer is allowed to practice in the courts, and no woman can gain admission to the bar. Hence, jury, judge, counsel, must all be of the superior class.
Court must insist the prisoner has been tried according to the established forms of law.
Yes, Your Honor, but by forms of law all made by men, interpreted by men, administered by men, in favor of men and against women, and hence Your Honor's ordered verdict of guilty against a United States citizen for the exercise of that citizen's right to vote, simply because that citizen was a woman and not a man.
The prisoner will stand. The sentence of this court is that you pay a fine of $100 and the costs of prosecution.
May it please Your Honor, I shall never pay $1 of your unjust penalty. All the stock and trade I possess is a $10,000 debt incurred by publishing my paper, The Revolution, 4 years ago, the sole object of which was to educate all women to do precisely as I have done, rebel against your man-made, unjust, unconstitutional forms of law that tax, fine, imprison, and hang women while they deny them the right of representation in the government. And I shall work on with might and main to pay every dollar of that honest debt, but not a penny shall go to this unjust claim. And I shall earnestly and persistently continue to urge all women to the practical recognition of the old revolutionary maxim that resistance to tyranny is obedience to God.
Madam, the court will not order your commitment until the fine is paid. This matter is adjourned.